This could quite easily be the saddest, most depressing manga ever, so let's talk about it. Yeah, before we get into the rest of the video, why are you all not subscribed? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because as you see right now, not all of you are subscribed, so just hit it right now, and we'll get it over and done with. And of course, I'm talking about Goodnight Punpun. Now, when it comes to Goodnight Punpun, it's very simple. Have you ever felt depressed about your life? You will relate to this. Have you ever been a teenager? You will relate to this. Have you ever had your uncle's girlfriend try to suck you? You might not relate to that, but you might. I mean, if you do, might be good. I don't know. It's probably a bit weird, actually. But look, I'm going to stick to it. This manga is depressing, but it's depressing in a fantastic way. It is one of the most pivotal mangas that there is, and I can say that with absolute confidence, because when you read it, you feel like your life is changing as you read it, because you just can't believe how much shit is happening to poor old Punpun. Let's talk very simply about the artwork of Goodnight Punpun. Now, Punpun is not drawn like a normal person. Everyone around him is drawn like normal people, but Punpun is not, and that's what makes it so interesting. You can literally place yourself in the position of Punpun quite comfortably because he doesn't have a face. He is this bird character, so you can put yourself in the position of that bird character and play it off like that. Now, a big part of Goodnight Punpun is his belief in a higher being, a god that's overseeing him, that is unfair to him, that doesn't care about him, that doesn't care about the people around him. That is the whole being of it, and I think a lot of people that might be religious would be able to relate to that, because they might have shit going on in their lives and think that the person in that higher position isn't helping them out, because that might be the case. Who knows? In Punpun's position, that is the case for him. It might be his own delusional way of thinking, which is the sort of same higher being as there is in I Am a Hero, which fantastic zombie manga, which I've talked about on the channel. So it's interesting. Now, the interesting part of Goodnight Punpun is the progression of the story in the years that it progresses through. It starts with Goodnight Punpun as a kid, and it progresses through him as an adult. Now, if you are a kid, you might not be able to relate to it as heavy as you can when you get into adulthood, because that is where the heavier stuff comes to play, is seeing that transition from childhood to adulthood and realizing how relatable it actually is. Now, I know I'm getting super deep on you, and I apologize for it, but it's the facts that are the truth. If you're a kid and you're watching this, I'm sorry. Adulthood's not great. It's, you go from having that freedom in school, having all those friends, having all these non-responsibilities that you have to look after, to having a bunch of responsibilities, and that becomes super difficult for some people to handle. And in Goodnight Punpun, it leads to a lot of depressive and dark thoughts, especially with some loss of his parents. He doesn't have a great relationship with his father. He doesn't have a great relationship with his friends past adulthood, because they all end up moving, and it is something that is super relatable to some people as they go from childhood to adulthood, and it's super deep for some people, and it will make some people think about their own lives and be able to put themselves in that position of Punpun, because even through adulthood, they do not draw his face. You put yourself in his position. Now, I would like to say there are some glowing benefits to reading this manga, but there really isn't. He doesn't really get much better through the story. He finds different loves and aspects of himself and different hobbies that he likes doing, which I think a lot of people can really grab onto, because hobbies are a massive thing. If you can grab onto hobbies, that can be huge for you. But the most important thing to understand is life can be bad, but there are things you can do to make it better. You can pull yourself out of these depressive states. You can find help for these depressive states. You can reach out to your friends like Punpun does not, unfortunately. He believes he is all alone and no one is there to help him, and that is not the right way of thinking. So this was my synopsis of Goodnight Punpun. I've got all the manga. I've read it all. It is an eye-opener for anyone that is really trying to understand how a depressive and sad slice of life can change your life. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, you're watching the best anime channel on earth, so have a fantastic day. This was a short, sweet, and simple one because there's not a lot to talk about with it. You just got to read it to understand it. So have a fantastic day, and make sure to subscribe, and peace out.